What happens when you get the same comments on your YouTube channel over and over and over again? It can be really frustrating and really overwhelming when people are asking the exact same question that everybody else has clearly asked, or questions that you've already answered inside of your videos. And as creators, there are a couple of things we need to do to make sure that we are not snapping back at them or leaving rude comments or really hurting our relationship with those people as we're continuing to grow our channel. So what happens when we do have to confront those multiple repeat questions? So for me, I've been getting this a lot recently. This is something that has come up a lot, like on the hour every single day inside of my channel. The first thing I have to remember is not to snap back. At some point, I get really frustrated when it's 20 questions deep of the same thing that I've already answered before. So something that we do need to make sure that we are doing, or something that can really help us as creators to stop that frustration, is to make sure that we are taking a breath before we're responding. And something I found really helpful is having a pre-written response. So usually for the first couple of times, I will answer these people. I'll redirect them. If they have a question that is answered in a different video, I'll direct them over there. If they have a question that I said in the video, I will repeat what I said from the video and refer them back to that video. And then after the first couple, 4 or 5 times that I have done this, I'm going to start to use the same language over and over again. Now, sometimes I create this as a pre-written response that I can just copy and paste right in. Sometimes I just know what I'm saying and I just repeat it really fast and I move on with what I'm doing. But you want to make sure that you know how to answer this properly. And when you have that pre-written response, you can just copy and paste it. And it shows that you've clearly answered this a billion times on your channel and you're now just copying and pasting that response. But it repeats the point so that people can see it. So a lot of people will look through those comments and get the answers before they post. So that means for everyone that has shown up in your comments, more people have actually looked at the comments, read them, got their answer, and moved on. And having that pre-written response means we don't have to think about what we need to say. We don't need to think about how we're going to respond, and it's not something that snaps at people. So once you've answered it a couple of times, if you have something that works, just copy and paste it. Copy and paste it, save yourself the time. Now, if you do feel like you are going to maybe snap at people, if you get those notifications on your phone, maybe instead of answering right then and there, because for me, I love to make sure that I'm responding as soon as I see it. So if there's a question and I have the availability to jump in and answer it, I do right then and there. I don't make anybody wait for those answers. If it's something where I'm frustrated and I can feel myself frustrated, I'll set the phone back down and I'll come back and answer it later, especially if the answer's already in the comments. If it is something I have not answered yet on any of those comments, then I'll jump in. Even if I'm frustrated, I'll make sure I'm nice about it and I get those answers. But if I've answered it many times and they've had that opportunity, I don't mind making people wait a little bit longer until I am not as frustrated for answering those things back. Now, another thing to keep in mind is, even though this is really frustrating, this is not something that we necessarily want to have happen on our channel, their comments are helping our algorithm standing. Every time someone comments on our video, that tells the algorithm system people are engaging. Not only are they watching, but they're taking the time to leave a comment or a question or interaction in some way. This is going to be favorable to you in the algorithm system with how many times your video is getting kicked out inside of the YouTube interface. So even though it's annoying to have the same comments posted on the same video, it is actually helpful. So if you feel like this has been answered a million times, I'm really frustrated, I'm gonna snap, I don't want to answer this person, you can consider deleting those comments, especially if they're repeats, but I actually don't. I leave them there and I make sure I respond to them again back with the copy and paste answer so that I don't have to put any time and effort into this. We do not want to waste time answering questions again and again and again if we've already answered them. So having that pre-created response is definitely going to be helpful. And if there's any way possible, direct them back to other videos. So if it's something you said in this video, you can say, as I said in this video, here's the answer, you can watch that back. Or if you're really annoyed, I don't recommend this, but if you're really annoyed, you can say, oh, I answered that in the video. If you take a look at it, it actually has those qualifications, or it has those specifications, or it has the answer to your question inside of that. But if you can redirect them to another video so you can answer what they're asking and then send them to a different video, you're going to get more watch time out of that as well. So if you have the availability, especially when you're creating those pre-recorded or pre-created comments to respond to their questions, have another link in there, send them to another one of your YouTube videos and get more watch time out of it. So basically, when it comes down to creating these responses to people, keep in mind you are not snapping back. That is not good community relations, and it's going to potentially cost you more viewers, which costs you monetization money. Come on now. We want to make sure we've got something pre-written. So after 3 or 4 times, if you know this is going to keep coming up, because that's just the way people are, have a pre-created piece of content that you can just copy and paste right in there. You don't even have to respond. And if you can direct them back to other videos, that's going to be incredibly helpful as well. I know it is frustrating to get repeat comments. Right now, I have a video that's going viral and people are just asking the exact same thing that was answered inside of the video that everyone else has asked, and I have answered inside of the comments, but people keep asking the same questions. And so I know that it's frustrating and it can be overwhelming at times, but taking that step back and then answering as if you're answering for the first time. And that really is the key here, because for most of these people, it's not like they've asked this question 17 times. This is the first time they are asking, even if it's your 700th time answering that question. So treat each of your comments and questions with the respect that you would if it were the very first one. I know it's frustrating and overwhelming, and it's exhausting to answer the same thing over and over again. But for them, it's their first interaction with you, even if it's your 700th interaction on that particular video. And that is going to help you to look better and to level up in their eyes as you are answering and responding to those questions. Pro tip, if you do have something that keeps coming up, pin the answer as the pinned comment. That will cut down on a lot of some of the confusion, or you can refer them back to the pinned comment and train them for future videos to be checking those pinned comments. If you got questions, if you've got comments on this, make sure you head on over to the comment section. Let me know what questions we can be answering for you. Hit up the social media at KM Robinson Social and Social Media for Bosses. We got some brand new stuff coming out for you today and new videos dropping every single day here on the YouTube channel. I'll see you next week for our live stream Q&A. Ask me anything. Let me know what topics we should be talking about next week. And if you have not checked out the memberships yet, we're launching new memberships here inside of the YouTube channel. We're just waiting for approval on 2 of them, but one of them's already out, and the video for it drops today. If you are looking for what's happening with the algorithms right now on social media today, I'm bringing you weekly reports so you know what is working, what isn't working, what was working and is no longer working, and what is coming up for this week that you should be focusing on to make the most of your time on social media. I'll see you inside of the memberships. I'll see you inside of the daily videos.